What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. One thing I can say and maybe scream to the heavens, it's over, it's over, it's finally over. We can move on and move toward the future, or can we? Is it really over when we look at everything this has done and all the damage that's been done to the club because of the FIGC, because of this entire case and everything that's gone along with it? We'll talk about that. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today, it is Tuesday, May 30th, 2023. Of course, I got your latest rundown of all things Juventus, all the news you care about each and every single day. Before we do anything though, do me a solid favor, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. And once again, I'm going to remind you guys, if you could, pop on over right now to the Now We Can Talk Like Men podcast channel. We have the link right up here at the top, and I think I'll put it in the description down below as well. We are, I think, about 15 subscriptions away from giving away a Bianconeri Zone horsehead t-shirt. You can get black, you can get white, you can get green, and I'll be doing that on the channel. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel right now, win a t-shirt, and hopefully have some fun with me. All right, let's get into it, and let's talk about the news that is when it comes to Juventus. We sit here today, finally moving on and finally getting a little bit of a reprieve from all the legal issues that Juventus has been facing due to the Plusvalenza matter. The latest reports that we have right now, obviously we know it's over. They agreed to a plea bargain, but what does that mean? Well, first up, we have Sportface, who came out and said before any of that happened, the motivations of the FIGC court that they gave for the appeal for the Plusvalenza case, the reason they took the minus 10 points from Juventus this season, the reason Juventus is not playing in Europe this season, besides Max Allegri and his faltering and his failure as a coach, but the reason Juventus is not playing in the Champions League next season is because of this. They gave minus 4 points because of Paratici. They gave minus 3 points because of Agnelli. They gave minus 2 points because of Riva Bene, and they gave minus 1 point because of Cherubini and his involvement in this matter, in a matter that has no precedent, that has no, it's really just an arbitrary matter. Overall, that's the one that they can go and hammer 10 points away for Juventus. But how was this case handled when it came to the appeals and when it came to the final judgment for Juventus outside of that and maybe moving forward? Well, we continue on. Romeo Gnesti reporting, as well as many others out there, but that's the first one I saw, that the National Federal Court has accepted the plea agreement of Juventus on the salary maneuver scandal that Juventus has been wading through during this time. A fine of 718,000 euros. Club waives all appeals. So no more point deduction, no future point deduction, no keeping us out of Europe completely when it comes to multiple seasons, when it comes to any of that. Juventus just have to pay 718,000 euros, which I would imagine, if it's me personally, I think if I'm John Elkann, you're probably laughing at that. You're laughing at that amount of money because he wipes his ass with 718 euros of dollars each day, if you were being honest. I took that from my guy Julian, but it's true. It's really, that ain't nothing but a thing when it comes to that kind of money. That's nothing for John Elkann. He's living his best life. But one thing I do want to be clear, though, that I don't like about this, that's okay. The plea deal, no more points. Yes. How can they skew this? How are they going to push this out? Well, us as Juventus fans are going to try to sell it to you as this was a win for the club. This was a good thing for the club. Hold your horses. I want to say one thing for a second. I'll say, yes, sure, I guess it's a positive that there aren't more points being taken from Juventus, and this isn't a multi-year deal that Juventus could be wading through it and having no Europe and just be wandering in the desert for 40 years and 40 whatever. I know it's 40 days and 40 nights, but 40 years at this point seems a bit more realistic than 40 days. Let's continue on, though, and then we'll get into that. He goes on to say, Giovanni Albanese reported the settlement of Juventus on salary maneuvers leads to a fine of 718,000 euros, but no other penalty in points, in addition to the minus 10 for which no appeal will be made. Andrea Agnelli renounces the plea bargain on a personal level. He will go to trial on June 15th. My boy Agnelli coming out here firing on all cylinders. He ain't taking this shit lying down. While the club may do it, he ain't doing it. He's moving forward. But that's not my problem anymore. Best wishes to him. However that turns out, if it turns out very much differently for him, we'll see. But when it comes to this and it comes to Juventus, here's the big issue. We move on to this point and the comments made by the guy in charge, the FIGC president, Gabriele Gravina, and his thoughts on this entire matter. Sportface is reporting that what he said was, on the Juventus verdict, an act expected, desirable, and shared. It is the most beautiful result for Italian football. So the penalization of one of your more storied historical programs, points being taken off previously and putting them out of Europe, out of the Champions League, losing players and all that goes along with that, that's the best thing that could happen. That's what the Italian people as a whole think about your club, because they don't care about Juventus. They don't love what Juventus does, all the hard work, all the World Cup trophies that the players that have played for Juventus have done for the club. They care about just tearing down the most storied and historic club. I was about to say program, but it's a program club in the entire country of Italy. It's ridiculous. But going off of this, though, I'm trying to play both sides when I say this. I go back to Juventus, though. The issue is, as much as you can say that a 718,000 euro fine is nothing, and it is nothing when it comes to Juventus. Obviously, you've seen what they're paying for players. The issue is this. It is anything but a 718,000 fine for Juventus. Juventus has already lost 100 million euros overall when it comes to players that are going out, money that he can get for playing in the Champions League, money that he can get playing in other leagues, winning top four or placing top four in Serie A, even winning Serie A. All the money they're losing is just piling and piling and piling on. So while that final figure of 718,000 doesn't sound that bad, the real logistics and the real amount of money they're losing, the players that they're probably going to be losing out on, the players that they're not going to be able to get, the lower level players are looking at. I think today ESPN here locally linked Juventus with Christian Pulisic. There you go. I'll leave it out there. I'm an American fan, but at the same time, do I need Pulisic in my club? I do not. His time is over and done, right? And then we're gonna have Weston McKennie coming back and other players. Anyway, it ain't good for Juventus long term, but at the same time, at least you can put the trial and everything behind you. Positives with the bad. A lot of bad with the positives. That's the only thing I can look at it. I'm a pessimist at heart. I don't know what to tell you. Moving on, though, let's talk about the future of Juventus and what we have for to work with right now. One of the options that's out there and reports that have been rumored out there is Kulusevski potentially coming back to the club. Nico Scheda reporting on his situation that Dejan Kulusevski confirms his future is in doubt. To Evening Standard, I will speak with Tottenham and we'll see the plan is moving from their side. And my side, I love Tottenham, but I have to see what their thoughts are and how the future is looking. Spurs have the option to buy from Juventus for 35 million euros. We'll see if they ended up buying him in the end. It seems less likely. It seems more likely he will be a player that could be coming back to Juventus in the end. And right now, I guess that's what you're going to have. You're going to have, I don't want to say shambolic, but you're going to have this odd concoction of players Juventus tried to ship out and Juventus players that they're actually hopefully trying to use, maybe young guys, more affordable guys, given the circumstances. It makes it a little bit more difficult for me to be optimistic about the future of Juventus playing one in the Champions League and making it into the top four next season. Making it from to Champions League the season after, obviously, is what I was saying. All right, let's continue on to talk about another player in his situation. We don't know how that's going to pan out, and that is, of course, Dusan Vlahović. Fabrizio Romano, Prem head himself, came out and said Vlahović is one of the names in Bayern's list and is really appreciated by that of Tuchel. Chelsea and Man United are also well informed on the situation, but it all depends on Juventus. It is up to them. Dusan always has been in Bayern's radar and remains there as reported last week. That's what we need. That's what we need at this point. Let's ship all of our brick shit houses out of Italy, out of Juventus, and give them all to Bayern. You can have De Ligt, who I think was it was not a deal that I was favorable of, and I'm still angry about it to this day. I think losing De Ligt was a massive blow, but that's under the bridge at this point. Water under the bridge at this point. And then you could potentially lose the likes of Dusan Vlahović to him. I don't know if I could do that once again. Though, I will be honest, Vlahović has been a disappointment since his arrival, and it depends how much Juventus can get. If we're saying 80 million euros right now, that is not going to be the money they get. You saw how much they got for De Ligt. They're going to end up taking pennies on the dollar when it comes to that. let's continue on and let's talk about the future when it comes to the coaching for the club. What do we have to look at? And then, of course, we have as a latest report putting out by Sport that Juventus and Allegri are already in talks to find an agreement on parting ways. Once the season's over, things will become more clear. So those of you that are on the Allegri out train, that are wanting to get this man out of here, starting to look like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but let's not get our hopes up too soon. And then finally, just to wrap this thing up, in the latest edition of Monblano Doesn't Know Shit, let's go ahead and put up Monblano's latest reports and his latest percentages that are just nonsense and mean nothing and whatever, but I'm at least going to have fun with it. Monblano gave percentages on who the next coach or what the coaching staff will look like for next season. For Max Allegri to still be at Juventus, 4.49%, which is asinine, the numbers. I don't know. At this point, I'm more annoyed with Monblano when he puts out the point percentages because it's dumb as shit. And he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I don't know why I'm continuing to put this on here and even make a graphic to do it, but it is what it is. Allegri 4.49, Tudor, without the R, I forgot, I guess, 25% chance of him coming to Juventus again and being a head coach there, as well as Antonio Conte, who was at the game against Milan and watched that travesty, 4.49% as well. So very unlikely for him to be the next coach. My question is, where's the other nearly 65%? Where's that at, my guy? Where's the other 65% at? Who are the coaches? Is it Italiano? Is it whatever? I don't know. Let me know your all thoughts. Who would you like to see be the next coach for Juventus moving into next season, moving into the future, and rebuilding this club to what it should be and where it should be? Let me know your thoughts on the outcome of this. Are you just happy to put this all behind us? Again, there's a lot of negatives to take from this that people are, Juventus is trying to gloss over, or people around Juventus are trying to gloss over to make it look better for the club. I understand you always want what's best for the club, but the truth is this is not the best thing that could have happened. It just isn't. It just frankly isn't. The entire situation has been destructive for the club, and I'm, saddened to see it happen. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, do me a solid favor. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon, stay notified for all of our latest videos. You can follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter. Of course, you can follow Beyond Canary Zone at Beyond Canary Zone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Beyond Canary. Say hello to your old lady for me.